quick uh, feedback from you guys. How many of you are aiming to become an entrepreneur over here?
Yes, sir. This is Amrita VS from economics.
Okay.
And my aim is to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And I have to contribute my work to Indian economy.
Oh.
Then I believe that for sure Indian economy will also rely on me.
I like your confidence. So
Thank
you're
you.
in which year?
Sorry, sir.
You are in second year or final year?
First year.
Wow. Okay. That's a shock. Okay. That's cool, in fact. And anybody who
Thanks,
is
sir.
there around who is looking to become an employee rather than an employer? Not really. It's a pin drop silence.
No, sir.
We like to be an employer rather than employee, sir.
You all want to become an employer rather than being an employee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. But then you have to see me in a different perspective, because I've always been an employee and never been an employer, right? I mean, this brings me a kind of what you call a situation, or a what you call as a incident. I'm not sure if this was a real-time incident, but it definitely gave me a good, what you say, an idea to speak about it. You all would have heard about Albert Einstein, right? The German scientist,
Yes,
who
sir.
was very popular for his theory of relativity, isn't it? So,
Yes, sir.
I mean, during his times, obviously, we know that there was no uh, social media to show who this guy is and what is his presentation and stuff and so on and so forth. So, what he used to do is he used to travel throughout Europe. Okay, so he goes to different countries in Europe and make his presentation or his session or whatever you call it. And he used to explain what was his theory, and then he moves on to the next conference and he presents it over there. And this was going on and on and on, and he actually had a driver with him when he was traveling from one conference to another conference. Incidentally, this chap was kind of too tired over a week's time, or over a couple of weeks' time. He was too tired to hold the next conference. In fact, when he was traveling in his car, he used to do a lot of practice on what he is going to present over there. And this guy's driver, he was very keen listener, and he was trying to memorize or trying to, understand what Albert Einstein was trying to practice when he was driving the car. So he had a very fair idea about his whole presentation. And seeing that Einstein was kind of very tired, he told Einstein, "Well, you look very tired, and are you sure you want to go for this conference, or you want to take some rest?" So Einstein said, "I mean, I really would like to take some rest, but then I can't avoid going to this conference. I really need to make a presentation on this to these guys over there." So the driver says, "Never mind. I have been hearing you for a long. I mean, I have been coming and sitting in the conference as well over the corner, and then I've been hearing how you're practicing in the car as well. So I have a very fair idea about this presentation. If you don't mind, I can just go and present it over there." And I mean, Einstein was, he thought probably he will take a chance over it, and he agreed with the driver. And what happened on this particular incident? The driver went as Einstein, because nobody knows exactly who is this guy Einstein, because, like I said before, there was not so widespread social media to show who exactly is Einstein. So they believed from the person who was coming over there for the conference was accepted as Einstein, with whatever proof of documents they were having. Anyway, the story is, this guy, the driver, he made this presentation very wonderfully. In fact, Einstein was taken aback that he did very well. Then, even Einstein would not have presented it so well. However, at the end of the session, these guys, the audience or the other scientist or whoever it is, they had some questions. set up the institute or research center or whatever it is and get the required the paraphernals to it, and then the distributions of it, isn't it? So there are a lot of aspects connected to it. It's not just the guy who is found and the problem is solved. It doesn't stand, but you need an entrepreneur over there to reach out to the peoples to get it in a way that they wanted it, isn't it? So this is the difference that he just highlighted to me, and it made a lot of sense to me, right? Of course, there is no doubt that there is a profit margin is always eye to it, to the opportunity which has been created to resolve the solution. So, I mean, it's my request to you guys that when you want to become an entrepreneur, just stay focused on what exactly is the situation and how you want to handle the situation, and being an opportunity, I mean, creating an opportunity to resolve the situation. This should be the prime motive. And I can see that many of the companies today are always believing in this statement, or at least unsaid, they are focusing on these aspects. And of course, like somebody was already highlighting it, that they take they calculate the risk, right? And then they manage the resources. This is a very key aspect to it, right? They know how to manage the resources. It's not just the aspect of the solution which needs to be, driven for, but then there are questions of resources, and he needs to take a risk behind it, right? And what kind of investments to be made over it, and what will be the profit margin, and does it make sense or not, isn't it? So just going on with the topic now, again back to the our headline over the topic is environment, right? So business beyond so we just saw what is business or what is environment. Keeping that in mind, can you guys just try and understand or throw some light what you mean as environment over here? I mean,
So various policies of the government.
okay, I agree with you. This is one of the aspect to look into the business environment. What else?
So the technological development.
Very true. Technological development.
So consumer preferences.
Sorry,
Consumer preferences.
consumable.
Consumer.
Various. I've been, if I'm not wrong, at least there are 14 types which have been listed under micro environment, right? So like what somebody said as policies or plans, new production plans, or whatever way you want to call it, value proposition that you wanted to do, the commodity that or the product that you are into, and HR, human resources, and then financial and marketing resources, corporate image and brand equity. I mean, you can go on with this, and of course, somebody said with labor management, but there is something very critical to, one of the aspect to this is which talks about the interpersonal relationship with the employees. Yeah. So when you go into that topic, I mean, before we drive or drill down, let's just have a quick look into the economy aspect of it. So I'm sure, even if the students are not from economics with your core subject, I'm sure you still have an idea of it. So we can see that this is actually a part of the macro, isn't it? Do you guys agree with me?
Yes, sir.
Isn't
Yes,
it?
sir.
Right. So this is not all about it. It's just a part of the environment, and of course, macro being a part by itself, and economy being another part into the macro. Right. Now, if you look at, if you want to just have a small drill down into it, like there is, I'm sure you're going to study it over in your academics or in your in your curriculum or whatever it is. I'm sure you would have learned and understood what is behind the socialism and communism and capitalism and mixed economy and traditional. These are different kind of economy. I mean, I'm not going to go into all these things, and neither I'm a student of it for sure. I'm sure that you're going to learn it from your college, from your books or whatever it is, and then you're going to drive into it. But let's just go and look into things which will sound more critical. Can any of you list something from whatever you have heard from the macro and micro environment, which will be a very critical aspect as far as a business is concerned?
Yeah, the
Sir,
design
maybe
for the
cultural
Okay, cultural. Can you just
cultural and moral ethics, sir. Maybe that can be a
cultural and moral ethics that the company would like to follow, right? It may come more or less under the legal aspects of it, which is coming under the macro.
yeah, sir.
Okay, something more which you think is more critical out of all this?
The policies on which the business runs.
The policies on the policies that we design to make the company, maybe, again, you can say ethical, because most of the policies, I mean, today, if you look, you have to be environmental friendly as well, isn't it? So there are a lot of policies that you need to make specifically with the carbon footprint that is making a lot of noise today. Of course, it's a required noise. Something else, guys?
Pricing strategy.
Finance.
Pricing strategy, finance, okay.
Competition.
Competitors, factor, okay. I mean, I'm not going to discount or negate or ignore from whatever you said. I will simply agree to whatever you said. There is a lot of importance to whatever you have been telling. But let's take a quick look at a tree as an example, right? So if you look at this tree, of course, you can see the trunk and branches and leaves and fruits and flowers and whatnot, isn't it? But what do you think is the very important aspect of this tree?
The root.
Wow. Somebody has gone to hit the head.
Water.
Okay.
Sun.
What?
The seed.
The seed is important.
The seed.
Okay, the tree is already come, so the seed is going to be in the fruit. Right. Okay.
Soil.
Soil. Yes.
Soil.
Yes. I agree.
Sunlight.
Sorry.
Sunlight.
Sunlight. Yeah. So you cannot discount anything from it, isn't it? The sunlight, or the air, or the rain, or the water. So these are like mostly like the macro environment, which you cannot control it. You cannot say the sunlight to shine tomorrow or not to shine tomorrow. Not to warm up tomorrow, or there should be a rain tomorrow, or after 3 weeks I need to harvest, and then you shouldn't rain and stuff, so on and so forth. But then, of course, these aspects plays an important role. Nobody is denying it, isn't it? But then, of course, if you look at the tree by itself, it has got branches, trunks, and leaves and whatnot. So if you just go on and on and on, but nevertheless, somebody told in the beginning that the root of the tree is the most important aspect of it. Why? I mean, do you agree with the statement the root is the most important aspect of the tree? Or you would like to debate on
Because
the
it holds the tree.
Guys, is there anybody with a second opinion over here who would like to debate with people who have said that no, it is root which is the most important part of the tree? Should I take your silence as acceptance, or what is it?
We agree with it, sir.
Sorry?
Akash has raised his hand.
Okay. I can't see here, ma'am. Unfortunately, I'm on the screen.
No, he is. Akash, you want to share something, you can tell.
Akash, do you want to share your point?
No, sir.
Okay, so you agree that the root is the vital part of all these aspects?
Yes, sir.
Right, because even if you cut the branches or you cut the trunks, if the root is there, the tree can still grow, isn't it? And of course,
Yeah.
the sun may not shine today. Maybe there's a thunderstorm for the next 1 week or 2 weeks or whatever it is. The tree may suffer. There is going to be an impact on it. There's no doubt to it. But then, as long as the root is alive, right? When the situation changes and when there's a sunlight coming up again, it can grow once again, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you even call the fruit
sir.
or the flowers, right, those are the prophets, right? So sometimes, you may not have the fruits coming up. You may not have a good fruit coming up, or maybe due to external factor, the fruits are spoiled, or it's gone rotten, or it's blown out, or whatever you call it. But still, as long as the root is alive, it can again produce fruits, right? So in any angle, if you look into it, it's like, the root is the most important aspect to it. And when you take care of the root, you will see that the plant is getting nourished, right? Now, if you come back to our topic, what do you think the root over here is? From all that you have listed, from macro and micro, and all those things that you have been talking about, what do you think? What is the root in our topic?
The root is the microenvironment
Mm-hmm.
which holds the business,
Very
and
good.
the tree is the macro environment which we can see.
Very good. Very good. Appreciated. Is there somebody who would like to put another thought to it?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Okay.
I think the root of business is a solution to a problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a very you cannot say that the solution is something which is in the air, right? So even if you wanted to call it yes, if I wanted to frame it, yes, how do you give a shape to it? Who is going to give the solution? If you say the solution is the root, sorry,
The entrepreneur.
the entrepreneur, exactly, right? So if you look, going to the root of the entire stuff, we have been mind-boggling with things which are at the macro levels, or things which are not in our control. But if you just look at the leadership of the entrepreneur, right? That's the root, right? And it's all about the leadership which can really bring the changes, and which can drive the changes. And he must be a people's person, right? You need to understand, your employers. Maybe if you all would call to be tomorrow to be an entrepreneur, well and good. But if not, the way you would like to deal with your people is the most important aspect, in my opinion. And this is taking a great shape, and I can debate on it. If somebody would like to challenge on it, I can definitely go on to debate with that person, because it plays a very important role. Even me being an employee and never been an employer, I know for sure what is the difference between a people's person, what is the leadership. So these aspects, right? End of the day, if you look at your company's aspect or whatever you wanted to run tomorrow, you may be thinking of a different products and different solution, and the plans of production, and I don't know, the finances from where you want to get it, and the profit driven aspect to it, and go on and go on and go on and go on and list. But the human resources is the vital aspects for any kind of business that you want to open tomorrow. Maybe, of course, you can call that, I have a digitalized way of running my business, and I know, but then end of the day, you still need a human to be somewhere in the corner as a customer, at least, to handle it. So the interpersonal relationship, that you connect yourself with the people, the way you talk to the people, the way you understand others, this drives a lot of weightage to the way you are going to run the business. And these are the people who are going to set the mission and vision of your your organization or your company or whatever you call it. And the most important factor to it is that you need to transfer this to your employees. Your employees, they should be able to understand the mission and vision. If you are going to be tomorrow the leader, they should be able to understand it, and they should have faith in what you have told. You can tell they may hear for the money that they're going to take in exchange from you, but they should also have faith, right? And this cannot be developed in a way of what you call from paying a money. You cannot develop faith. For this, you need to have the interpersonal skills. You need to talk to them. You need to understand their emotions, and you need to understand, at what stage and what level they are, right? I mean, you can go on listing all these things, and this, I would say, is the foundation, right? You may want to construct something very beautiful tomorrow, but then the foundation needs to be laid down, and the foundation needs to be really strong. And this is really the root, or the foundation which you call for the what you call for the construction that you're going to make up. And it's like a journey. When you have an idea, like I said in the beginning, you have understood what is there, what is required in the society, what needs to be addressed, and then you create an opportunity to address it. And then you collect the resources, including the human resources, the raw materials, or whatever your plan, your idea, your drafting, whatever. And then you have, like I said before, you have designed a mission and vision into it. And then you need to pass on this to the employees of yours. That means you are just inviting them to your journey. You have started a journey, and you need to have the capability or the capacity to call others into your journey. And they must be feeling inspired to travel with you in this journey, right? That's the most important aspect. And I mean, when you start with all these things, when you go with all these things, you must always have something. What is the legacy you're going to leave behind? What is the story that you want to tell to them? What is the impact, or the feeling that you have given, maybe to the society, or to your employees, or to the people around, or the society, whatever you call it. So that should be the driving factor. Again, I'm just talking about the root and the foundation of it, right? I mean, I'm not willing to go on to experiment on the other factors of macro levels, which maybe some of you would have got a lot of expectations to it, that maybe I'm going to talk a lot about it. But if that was the case, you need to really excuse me over here. But then if your root is not strong, and if you're having a lot of eye on the macro levels, it is very difficult to go on, or continue the way you wanted to do, because you need to have a sustainability and reliability, right? And these things, like all these aspects, the sustainability is very, very important, right? You cannot start in a day and then wind up, you go up like a rocket and then come down after a few years. That's not the idea. There should be a sustainability, there should be a reliability, right, in the way that you're going to do. And all these things are going to come up in the way that you yourself are shaped up. If you have not shaped up yourself well, if you are not able to connect to people and communicate to people, and you may have a mission and vision, but if you're not able to transfer that to your people around you and then invite them to your journey, it's going to be very tough. You may have the best of your ideas, right, but that's not going to really help you. So I mean, if at all, people who are worrying what is happening to the economy and different parts of the world, what is going on, I can definitely give. I'm from Middle East, right? I can give you a lot of, and I'm from logistics field. So if you have some kind of concerns which is very particular to logistics field and how it is shaping up the Middle East, and being in logistics, trust me, I have to handle. I mean, almost any kind of things which has been produced or which has been procured, be it raw material or finished goods, isn't it? So, I mean, I have a touch with almost from food industry to medical industry to what you call ammunitions as well, right? So, the idea is not developing a knowledge in each of these aspects. The most important thing is that how you are able to connect with everything, right? So the point is that don't get carried away with the current economy situation. What will happen with the all this situation which is not under your control, or the macro stuffs over here. It's more about things which you can control, which you can bring into a change or the control that you can drive into. I would request you guys to focus on those aspects and try to shape them up, right? And if this is shaped very well, and I'm sure the rocket which you're going to shoot will fly high. And this is some of the famous quotes. Maybe you have heard it, but then I would like to repeat it for you guys, that Ratan Tata has said that the employees are your assets. Treat them wisely. Again, if you look at the president of Apple, he says everyone talks about building a relationship with your customer. I think you build one with your employees first, right? This is very important. If you're not able to connect with your own people within you, with your own organization people, you're not able to communicate and transfer your mission and vision into them, then it's going to be a very tough task to trying to find the customer and align your pricing, and then go into the price war and stuffs and so on and so forth. I'm not saying these are not the aspects. Like I said, the branches and trunks are not important. It's not that they are not important. Obviously, they are all very important. End of the day, the fruit is going to hang from the trunks or the from the branches, right? So those are very important. But like I said, if your root is set, the trunks are going to be very strong to catch hold of these fruits, or the fruit is going to get nourished properly, and those are going to have a value in the market. If the roots are not good enough, you may fabricate it for some time, but it will never stay long. So that's the question of the sustainability aspect of it. And can anybody say who have told these words? Success and profitability are outcome of focusing on customers and employees, not on objectives. I'm not trying to pinpoint any of you here, but this is a fact that people are mostly focused on their objectives, right? But here is someone who says that it's not about that. The success and profitability is not to come from the objectives. It's you have to focus on your customers in the sense who are they, what are they, what is their requirement, how do you connect with them, and what is that you have got to offer to them, and how the people around you who is going to go into this mission of offering it, right? Can anybody guess who said these words?
Jack Ma.
Wow, I like it. Good, absolutely. Right. So he went on to tell even that in the 21st century, the people, unless you don't empower them, and then they have to be better than you, right? And then that will be your success. So, I mean, you can go on with a lot of quotes with different successful entrepreneurs or leaders around the world who have given a lot of values to this. So if you the last quote which I would like to bring to you is the from Jack Welch of GE. So he says, before you become a leader, success is all about growing yourself, right? Which I'm sure you are all trying to gain that pace today by learning through your academics or whatever you call it, or tomorrow you employ or you be an employer or whatever it is. But nevertheless, when you become a leader, success is all about growing others. And for this, like I said, the root needs to be strong, or your ability to understand people, your ability to connect with the people, right? Of course, like you said, somebody said the legal aspect of it, and then the values, and then the, you can go on ethics about it. So all these things are framed from this very aspect, right? So if you think that I'm going to conclude this topic today, right? The what you call as the business environment beyond the economies. What do you think is the aspect that you need to really focus on beyond economies and beyond economies and stuff, right? Which environment do you think that you should focus on?
Oh, sir, I have something to say, sir.
Okay.
Sir, recently there is a concept called as entrepreneurship that is growing in importance.
Okay.
Like, if you would have heard, like, entrepreneurship is not exactly like entrepreneurship, but it is
Okay.
somewhat related. Like in a company, it is basically an employee who becomes an entrepreneur. Like he does not own a company, but it
Hmm.
seems like he owns a company. He's a self-motivated person. Like he
True.
has shared vision, shared
Yes,
vision.
yes,
So
yes.
can you throw light upon this and entrepreneurship, because I think
Yeah.
it's really growing in importance now.
Yes, yes. I mean, I have been, before I joined Global Corp Logistics, I have been with Kuehne+Nagel. It's a German company again, and it's almost 100 plus years old company. And their latest vision is from what, the way you are trying to understand it. Now, the way that today they are looking into is that every department head, they give a P&L. You know what is P&L books, the profit and loss statement,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So it's not just the company which is holding its own P&L. They break the P&L into multiple pieces and they give it to different offices that this is your P&L. Okay, that could be understood. Now within offices, each department head has got his own P&L. Now he has got his own budgeting. He has to work out what needs to be paid and what is his employees' expenses and stuffs which he is handling. What is the cost towards it and what he needs to use. What kind of vendor he needs to use or what kind of cost or application cost cutting he has to apply or how to optimize things within his department. And he is responsible for his own P&L statement. So if you see, end of the day, it's now uh, it's broken into various pieces, and each of them have got their own what you call targets and stuffs, and they work towards it. So each one will feel that I am running this business. You got it?
Yes, sir.
So this is how today, in a very crisp way or in a very short way, this is how this has been addressed today. Okay, does it answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Great. Anyone else? Any questions or any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. So, I mean, I put a last question to you. I mean, I will be very anxious to hear from you all. I mean, my last question was that whom do you think, I mean, what is your take on, or, back home, what you would like to take as the business environment, which is beyond economies? Where do you think that the focus needs to be on?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
sir, I'm thinking that beyond the economics, we should give main motive to who are we benefiting through our work, sir. Mainly the
Okay.
customers. We should have a perspective like that, sir.
Okay. So, whom do you
Customers,
think?
employees, then our stakeholders, sir.
Okay, I agree with you. One step behind, the first and foremost.
What, sir? I couldn't get you, sir.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm fully in agreement with you, but I think one more step behind, you need to come first. Just one more step down and see where you need to focus first.
The employees
On
are-
ourselves.
Exactly. I believe it's on ourselves. If we have been focused on ourselves, if we haven't shaped ourselves, we are not going to deliver it.
Yes, sir.
Right? So all other aspects to it is, it has got like I said, it's a Pandora box. It's like, it's got a lot of aspects to it. Each of you have got your own perception to understand it and follow it and implement it and run with it. But then if you have not prepared yourself, if your own aspirations are not set right, in terms of, like I said, the what you call, how you connect yourself, how you make your ideas to be properly transformed, right? If these aspects are not prepared in yourself, then it's going to be tough, in my opinion. So yeah, before you focus on customers, right, people around you, focus on yourself. Then you can slowly expand it to focusing with your people around you, be it your employees or friends or relatives or society or whatever, and then of course with the customers and stuff. So these things needs to be set straight, and if these things are set straight, I'm sure that uh, the changes in the economy policies or the situations which is bringing a lot of dynamic changes will keep coming and going, but then you will be alive for sure. You will be there to take on and you will be there to grow on, right?
Yes, sir.
So guys, that's it from me. I mean, if I haven't met your expectations, I'm sorry for it. And I may, unless you wanted to have some questions or some more clarifications, you may go ahead, or I will leave it to Prabha ma'am to conclude this.